Remember the itch? No, not a real one. The one in the back of your mind. The summer of 2016. It was hot, the days were long, and into that strange, hazy stillness fell a show that felt like it was pulled directly from a dusty VHS tape we'd all forgotten we'd recorded. This wasn't just a new series. This was a memory, a collective, half-remembered dream of bike chains rattling on gravel, the clatter of polyhedral dice on a basement table, and the terrifying, exhilarating belief that maybe, just maybe, the world was stranger than our parents let on. Let's go back, not just to Hawkins, Indiana, but to the summer we first got lost in it. The heart of it all, wasn't it? Mike's basement, that shag carpet, the wood paneling. It smelled like childhood. And in that basement, we met four boys who weren't archetypes. They were us, or who we wanted to be. The Duffer brothers didn't just cast actors, they alchemized a friendship. There's a story, a small one, a piece of set gossip that captures it. The scene where they're all huddled in the basement after Will first disappears. The fear on their faces. A lot of that was real. Finn Wolfhard, Mike, Gaten Matarazzo, Dustin, and Caleb McLaughlin, Lucas, had only known each other for a few weeks. The Duffers, wanting to harness that raw, new kid at school energy, deliberately kept them somewhat separate from Noah Schnapp, Will, before filming. So when they filmed that scene, that palpable sense of our friend is gone, it wasn't entirely acting. They were genuinely feeling the new fragile bonds of a friendship they were still building. And then there was her, Millie Bobby Brown, 11, a character who had to convey an entire shattered universe behind her eyes, with barely a word. Fun fact, Millie Bobby Brown actually shaved her head for the role. Can you imagine being a young actress and making that commitment? The Duffer brothers even showed her a picture of Charlize Theron in Mad Max, Fury Road, to convince her it would be badass. And they were right. Also, the first time the boys met Millie, they were apparently a little freaked out by her shaved head. They quickly became inseparable, though. You remember the tension. After the escape from the bad men, the trust between the boys is fraying. In the woods, Lucas and Mike are in a heated argument about her. "She's a freak," Lucas yells, pointing not with a weapon, but with all the fear and suspicion a 12-year-old boy can muster. And 11 just watches. She takes it in. The behind-the-scenes magic was in Millie's reaction shots. The Duffers didn't need a grand monologue. They needed a performance you could feel. The camera holds on her face, not with anger, but with a profound, gut-wrenching understanding that she is, and might always be, an outsider. The boy's argument is the noise. Her silent, wounded reaction is the story. That was the take, the one in the final cut, where the emotion clicked into place. You're not watching an actor perform, you're watching a character realize that a safe haven might be just another cage. And while the kids were fighting monsters, Joyce Byers was fighting a different battle, against the very fabric of reality. Winona Ryder, her performance was a masterclass in frantic maternal energy. But the Christmas lights? That was a nightmare. The story goes that the practical effects were, frankly, a pain. They had miles of wire, hundreds of bulbs, and they'd constantly blow fuses or overheat. The crew would be on their hands and knees trying to fix a bulb that had blown right as Winona was hitting her emotional peak. There's a kind of beautiful chaos in that. The most high-tech communication device in the show being a string of temperamental holiday decorations that probably drove the gaffers insane. And then we come to the end. The middle school, the hallway, it's all led here. We have to talk about the Demogorgon. We see so much CGI now, but that creature, it was a man in a suit, a brilliant, uncomfortable, practical suit worn by a contortionist. His name was Mark Steger, and when 11 faces it down, that wasn't Millie acting against a tennis ball on a stick. Mark Steger was right there, in that slithering, terrifying costume, moving in those unnatural, jerky ways. The kids' reactions, the pure, unadulterated terror, is real because the thing they were supposed to be afraid of was actually there. And 11's sacrifice, the way she just vanishes, That was a choice born from the show's indie film soul. The Duffers have said they originally envisioned the season as a standalone limited series, a complete story. That ending has so much weight because it was designed to be the ending. A bittersweet, devastating, close to a story we never wanted to end. And then, the quiet. Will is home. The tree is up. It's Christmas, but the shadow remains. I think this series was never about the monster. It was about the silence after. The quiet hope in a dark basement, the static on a walkie-talkie, the belief that a friend lost wasn't truly gone. It was the ache of a story that ended, but a feeling that refused to fade. And in that feeling, we never really left Hawkins.